y'all, this is Angela, and welcome to the show Hodgepodge. This show is not about one thing, this show is about everything. Because in this old crazy world that we're living in, there is lots to discuss. So I hope you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now let's get started with today's episode. Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Hodgepodge with Angela. I am your host, Angela, but you already knew that. Today's podcast, if you saw the title, is just going to be a fun little silly podcast because I want to know if y'all listening love Rip Wheeler like the rest of the world loves Rip Wheeler. And if you're thinking, well, who in the heck is Rip Wheeler? I'm going to tell you. So Rip Wheeler is a character in the show Yellowstone. That's right. He is a character. He's make-believe. He doesn't exist. But dadgummit, I wished he did. Yellowstone is not a show that I watched when it first came out. I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Costner, but all of my friends were posting Yellowstone, Yellowstone. And then the season finale, and they were like, oh my God, Yellowstone. And that went on for 3 seasons on my social media. So, it was one Labor Day, and it was right before season 4 was getting ready to air. It was Labor Day, and Hubby B and I were home, and we were like, you want to watch an episode of Yellowstone? You know, I keep hearing all these things about it. And he's like, yeah, sure, let's watch it. Let's see what it's all about. So y'all, we watched it and we were hooked. We spent that whole weekend watching 3 seasons of Yellowstone, and we could not wait for season 4. And as we were watching it, we're like, man, this is so good. And that Rip character, he's badass. I mean, that's the only way to say it. So as we were watching it, we were like, wait a minute, is that Cole Hauser? I mean, I think we watched probably 3, maybe even 4 episodes before we knew that Rip was Cole Hauser. Now, I like Cole Hauser. Not a huge fan of his, or I wasn't. Let me rephrase that. I was not, but I am now. I saw him in Paparazzi, and I saw him in The Family That Prays, and then I did see him in Dazed and Confused. But he just never was like one of those actors that, I'm like, oh my God, he's got a new movie out. Not like I love Matthew McConaughey. He's one of my favorite actors. Sean Connery was one of my favorite actors. I love Michael Keaton. But Cole Hauser was never one of those. I was like, okay, he's in it. I want to see it. But now, if Cole Hauser would play the Rip character and everything else he does in his acting career, I will be front and center in the theater or at my sofa watching that TV, because he plays that role so well. And I know a lot of you are probably like, Angela, honey, that's make-believe. I know it's make-believe, I know. But it got me to thinking why America loves him so much in that role. And if you don't know Cole Hauser, I mean, I don't know him. I just know what I see on social media. I mean, he is married. He's been married for a really long time. And he's married to, oh shoot, I can't remember the girl's name. Cynthia Daniels. And she's a twin with a sister named Brittany Daniels. And they used to do some kind of teen show where they were twins. Sweet Valley High, I think, or something like that. So he's been married to her for a long time. They have kids. And all the kids look just like him. I think they have 3, if I remember correctly. But he looks like a really good family man and husband too. And I think that's part of why I like his character so much and like him. Because he does seem like an all-around good family man. Like, he's somebody that I would be friends with. He's not one of these actors that, like, I don't think I'd be friends with Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise is a little too much out there for me. But I think I would be friends with Cole Hauser. Now, if Tom Cruise listens to this podcast and he wants to be my friend, we'll see what we can do. We'll work it out. But Cole Hauser just seems like a really cool guy. But I freaking love him as Rip Wheeler in Yellowstone. So I got to thinking, like, why is it that I love him so much? Like, what makes his character somebody that I love so much? So I started writing it down. You guys know I keep a little binder and I write everything in it. And some of the reason that I love him so much, number one, I think is his loyalty to that family. Like, he will do anything for John Dutton. And again, I know this is all TV, y'all, but just bear with me. But he will do anything for John Dutton. Now, I'm not saying that for you to be a loyal person, you have to take somebody to the train station. I'm not saying that, so don't come at me and say, "Oh, you're saying that the only way I can be loyal is to take somebody to the train station." And if you're listening to this and you don't know what that term means, you'll have to look it up because I'm not going to say it on the podcast. But he also looks good in some Levi jeans. I mean, he was always so skinny in all these other roles, but the man worked out for this role. And if you did not see him in the wash tub in the People magazine, you need to go and you need to Google that. And Lord forgive me, and I'm not lusting right now, but he looked good sitting in a wash tub. And this is not something that Hubby B does not know. He knows all about this. He knows how I feel about Rip Wheeler. But and I love, love, love the way his character loves Beth. So if you watch the show, you know Beth is just, she's crazy. That's the only way you can describe her. She's crazy. If she likes you, then that's somebody that you want to have on your side because she's going to do whatever she can to take care of you. So if you have a Beth Dutton on your side, you're doing good. But the way that he loves her and he cares for her in the episode, and I don't want to send anything spoilers, but in the episode where she had the bomb in her office and her back is all scarred and he still loves her, oh, it's just amazing. I mean, I don't know, y'all. It was just something about their love story on the show, and she's crazy. It would take a heck of a man to love a woman that crazy, and I think his character is perfect, perfect, perfect for her. I mean, he laughs with her, he laughs at her. But at the end of the day, his character really loves him. And not to mention, the man works hard. Anytime John Dutton needs something, where's Rip? Get Rip. Rip, Rip, you handle this. And Rip handles it. And, Rip was a character in the show that John Dutton just kind of picked up, no questions asked. And Rip has been loyal to him since he came to the Yellowstone Ranch. Now, again, I know a lot of you people are thinking, well, baby, you're late to the party. Yellowstone's been on for years. The world has loved Rip for years. Where have you been? Well, I know that I'm really late, like I was late to the show, but I was watching TV the other day in my office and it dawned on me that we have not started watching season 5. So probably what's going to happen is we'll let the season play out on TV, let it on Sundays when it comes on. We'll let all the episodes play and then we'll binge watch it, because I'm one of those people that when I start watching something and it ends and that show has a cliffhanger, I get mad because I'm ready to see the next show. And I remember the days of satellite dishes where you could sometimes see the next episode already, like I know you could with some of the daytime soap operas, but you can't do that anymore. And I don't like that. So I'll just wait till Yellowstone, it wraps up season 5 and then we'll watch it all. I did hear rumor that this was the last season, which I know you guys probably heard the same thing. But then I also read somewhere that this was not the last season. So I don't know for sure. There have been a couple of spinoffs from the show. There was one 1880 something, and then there's another one 1922, I believe. I watched the first one, but I didn't really get into it. I had starred Tim McGraw, and I'm not a huge Tim McGraw fan. I know a lot of people love him as a singer, but I don't. And the next one, the 1922, stars Helen Mirren, which I like, and Harrison Ford. Gosh, how could I forget Han Solo, Harrison Ford? But I haven't gotten into that one either. So, and I think I read somewhere where there was going to be another spinoff. So I'm not 100% sure about that one. But anyway, I, like the rest of the world, have fallen in love with the character Rip Wheeler. I even have a couple of t-shirts with Rip on it, and I wear them proudly. But if you guys feel the same way, or maybe just let me know how you feel about the character, if you think I'm Lulu, which I know a lot of people listening probably thinking, God, you are crazy. He's not a real person. Well, Cole Hauser is a real person. And I bet you somewhere out there in the world, there is a real Rip Wheeler that does some things like this Rip Wheeler. I just hope he don't take people to the train station. But anyway, guys, as always, thank you for listening to my rambling and my nonsense. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you will come on back for another show next week. I am going to change the days to dropping on Thursdays. My Monday, Tuesdays are really slammed with work and just household things. So it's kind of hard to drop them on Monday, Tuesday. So I think Thursday is going to be the date going forward. But as always, thank you for listening. I hope if you are not a follower of the show, whatever platform you watch on, you'll click that follow button and you will also give me a 5-star rating. Thank you as always for listening. Until next time, bye, y'all.